It's time again for our look back at the previous week of NCAA swimming. As the early stretch of the season unfolds, we're beginning to see more and more fast swimming. One of the biggest highlights was the third annual Battle at the Burr meet. This marked the third straight year of the Howard and Georgetown teams really pushing the boundaries of the spectator experience in college swimming. They packed the Burr Gym pool with over 1,000 roaring fans, and tickets for the meet sold out within minutes of them going on sale. And as always, they had a live DJ to keep the energy going and a rotation of special guests to keep the crowd excited. That's all what took place outside of the water, but what about in the pool? For the third straight year, the Georgetown men and women took victories over the host team, Howard. The individual event winners were very spread out at this meet. On the very close men's sides, the only two double event winners were Howard's Mason Green in the 100 and 200 freestyles and Georgetown's Stephen Kim in the 100 breast and the 200 IM. For the women, Howard's Zaylee Thompson was the only multi-event winner, taking home the crown in the 100 breast and the 200 IM as well. The highest profile meet of the week was the Arizona State versus University of Nevada Las Vegas duel, where ASU won both the men's and women's meets. The Arizona State men are the defending NCAA champions, but they lost massive chunks of their championship winning team when the departure of head coach Bob Bowman brought with it a massive wave of transfers. But that didn't stop the Sun Devil men from dominating the NCAA standings, as they now own the top time in almost every single event that was contested. Their only miss was the 100 breast, whereas actually UNLV's Daniel Nakusin that won the event and now holds the fastest time. ASU's sprint course showed that it is very much still intact, as they now hold the top 4 fastest 50 frees and the top 5 fastest 100 frees in the NCAA this year. The biggest superstar at the meet was easily Ilya Kharun. After winning an NCAA title in the 200 fly as just a freshman, he had an even more impressive summer, winning double Olympic bronze medals in the 100 and 200 butterflies with some very quick times. And he showed that he's not slowing down here, as he dominated the butterflies at this event, throwing down a 44.57 and a 139.47 in the 100 and 200 butterflies to easily take the fastest time this year in both of those events. That 139.47 is crazy fast for this point in the year. Kharun didn't break 140 until ASU's mid-season meet last year, where he went a 139.10 in mid-November, so a 139.4 in early October is very promising. The ASU women had a stunning opening to this meet as well, as they broke their school record in the 200 medley relay in the very first event with a 137.05. That record-breaking swim also gives them the fastest time so far this year. Once again, on the women's side, ASU is walking away with the top times in nearly every single event, missing out on only a couple. The Sun Devil women came very close to setting 2 new school records at this meet as well, as NC State transfer Miriam Sheehan won the 100 back in a 52.67, just 1/100th ahead of teammate Caroline Bentz. Those two swims are just 9 and 10/100ths away from the school record. In Division III news, Emory took on Division I Queens. While Queens won the men's meet, the women actually managed to tie. Last week, Emory gained a complete stranglehold on the top D3 times, and they managed to improve on many of them at this meet, still owning the fastest time in the division in a vast majority of events. One of the events that saw Emory lose their perfect status was the 200 IM, where the Johns Hopkins University of Men managed to take the top 3 spots during a tri-meet in an impressive showing of depth. The University of Louisville swept their duels against Xavier University. The most impressive event for the Louisville men was the 200 free, where they put up the 4th and 5th fastest times behind only a trio of ASU swimmers. The Louisville women were led by Caroline Larson, as she put up the 6th fastest 50 free time and the 5th fastest 100 free time this year. In Division II news, we had a ton of fast swimming spread out over many different meets. With so many top times coming from so many different meets, we're gonna briefly touch on some of the more notable ones here. McKendree's Jackson Lustig completely owned the 200 fly rankings with a 145.88, which puts him exactly 3 seconds ahead of the second fastest swimmer in an event where he is the defending D2 champion. In the 200 backstroke, St. Cloud State's Raph Hendricks tops the division rankings by just over a second with a 148.81. I promise that I say that with absolutely zero bias because I have journalistic integrity. On the women's side, Azusa Pacific's Montana White put up the fastest times in both the 200 and the 500 freestyles. Her 456.63 in the 500 makes her the first D2 woman to go under 5 minutes this year. We also saw an impressive showing in the 200 IM from Jury's Melanie Wijk. Her 2:05.36 makes her the fastest in the division this year by a fair amount. That's all for this week. As always, let me know what I missed, because I'll never be able to cover every single thing that happens in any given week of NCAA competition. And of course, come back next week for another recap of NCAA action. It's currently pretty late on Friday night as I record and edit this, and that LSU Texas meet is looking pretty fast, so I wouldn't want to miss that one.